Craig Cohen 87 here with another episode of the IRONDEN. And I'm feeling pretty good for this leg day, which I'm about to hit. And last week was a bit lackluster. I did the squats, but I didn't do the hack squats. Now that I've eaten more, I've relaxed a lot more. I mean, I should be able to do it. No excuses this time. If I don't do it, well, I'll find another excuse. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be my fault. I'm still only going to do 2 sets, but I want to go 15 to 20 on the squat. Last week I got 13 with 185. I'm going to stick with the 185. Try to get 20. And really try to establish some decent baselines. And then we're going to go progressive overload all the way through. Going up 10 pounds, going up 10 pounds. When my reps come down too far and I'm unable to hit 15, I stick with the weight to try to get to 15. And that'll be for the first set. Second set, I kind of want to go 20. I think the reps are more important. Of course, these are just theories that I've heard. I don't know that for sure. But now we're going to go trial and error. We're going to do different, not major different things, but basically low volume, high reps for 2, progressive overload. And, you know, I do the pose down every Sunday. And we're going to see over the week, are my legs getting bigger? Are they staying the same size? That's how you find out if stuff works for you in the gym or not. Not just from watching some guy with massive body part that you're jealous of and doing their workout. You have to see what works for you. I always say it that Lee Haney didn't do Arnold's workout, and so on. Dorian didn't do Lee Haney's workout. Ronnie didn't do Dorian. Jay Cutler didn't do Ronnie. Phil Heath didn't do Jay Cutler's workout. All these champions got their own way. Not to say that I'm a champion or ever will be a champion, but my point is that there's no like one perfect way to do stuff. Like, I'm not saying that what I'm doing is the best, and I'm not saying that just because somebody else might have the title of the best bodybuilder and they were the best on that day, it doesn't mean that their workouts are the best. It means they found out what works for them. That's what I'm in the process of doing. I'm happy with pretty much everything except the legs. So the legs, I definitely need to be changing up some stuff. Since I've done this show, except for the very end, I was always doing 2 leg days. I think that was too much. I'm slow to recovery and I can go very hard in the gym. So I need more relaxed time. So I'm thinking 1 day, and it'll be the Saturday, not the Tuesday, so it'll be a day off. So I'm fresh. That's the theory of it. So we'll track that. And for the leg extensions, I'm going to do individual legs. I'm going to just start off the bat. But I have no idea how much weight I want to use, so we're going to have to establish some benchmarks. Probably take at least 3 weeks. So I'm going to do whatever weight I choose this time. Then I'll make a modification for next week. And then going into the 3rd week, I'll have a really good idea of what I want to use. You know, it's all trial and error. It's almost like I'm troubleshooting each issue. I try different things, see what works. When something works, I stick with it. Very meticulously. That's how progress is done. It's not done week to week. It's done really month to month or even year to year. But we live day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. So just making good food choices, good sleep choices. Wrist is feeling better. Go back to work tomorrow. It's still a little sore if I put pressure on it, but like doing this, I don't feel anything. My wrists feel the same. That's definitely a great sign, because it was pretty bummed out. Hard to even just go one-handed on my phone. And I would keep upsetting it, so I kept lengthening the time it would take to heal up, you know? I'm hard on my body like that. All right, so I'm halfway there, so be there in about 5 minutes, and I will see you in the gym. Set number 1, exercise number 1, seated hamstring curls. We're gonna start off with 240 pounds, which I got for 8.5 reps last week. So the goal is 9 reps. And this ensures that I'm getting stronger. Very important. Here we go. 9 reps, high quality. 1, 2, 6, 9. Shit. That was a barely got 9, but I got it. Set number 2, down to 200 pounds. The goal is to be 10.5, so 11 reps is what I want. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. We'll call that 11.5. It is a beat. Third and final set. And I'm actually going to move up the weight from last week, from 180 to 190, and that's because I got 13.5 reps. So anytime I hit 13 reps, I know it's time to move up the weight. So let's see how many I can get. I want 13 again, so I could move up for the second week in a row. Here we go. 1, 8, 10, 11. Oh God. Shit. That was 12. All right. I'll be hitting that weight again. Next week I'll probably break it. All right, let's go hit some single leg at a time extension. Set number 1, leg extensions. Top set I'm gonna go individual legs. Second set I'll go with both legs. So the goal again is 8 to 12 reps. And I did 16 with the whole stack last week. So now I'm gonna go 150 per side. The whole stack's only 265, keep that in mind. So now it'll be like I'm doing 300. And that's the idea, to load up the legs with more weight. And my goal is around 8 to 10 reps. Here we go. I've never done it like this before, so my coordination might be a little out of balance, but that's good because in a few weeks I'll be far more coordinated. 1, 3, 4, 8, 11. Oh, God. Nice. Beautiful. Let's go with 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, Alright, that was interesting. We're gonna go even heavier next week. Second and final set. Let's do the whole stack, 265, which I only got for 9 reps last week on the second set. That's why I'm thinking it's still heavy enough for both legs. Whew, here we go. Whew. 14 reps. So that means next week both sets will be independent. Let's go ahead some squats. Set number 1, conventional squats. You're gonna go with the 185, which I got for 13 last week. So the goal is 15 to 20. And it's key for me to remember, don't go too quickly. I need to really make that mind-muscle connection with the quads. I was warming up, even with just the plate, I could feel it in my lower back. I put on the belt, but when I go too fast, I start utilizing more muscles. I really want to emphasize the quad control all the way. It's not about hitting 20, it's about destroying the quad. I'm gonna measure time under tension with reps. Here we go. Whew. Hardest workout, hardest exercise in the gym. Nice and slow. One. Ten. 5 more. Five. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. One. Excellent. Excellent rep. All my sets should look like that. So that was about 16 and a half. We'll just call it 16. Take a little break and go again. Set number 2 down to 155. And my back is getting a little sore. So I'll have to keep my eye on that. All right, 15 or better. Here we go. Mind muscle connection, baby. Eight. 11. 4 more. 9. I sped up a bit right there, but I still got what had to be done. My quads are sore. Whew. All right, I'm gonna try to hit some hack squats. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty, set number 1. Hopefully of 2, but we're gonna take this one set at a time. 180 pounds, so not much on there, but I did squat, so even one plate I was trembling a bit on the way down. The goal is 8 to 12, as many as I can do. Even if I only do 4 reps, next week the goal will be 5 reps. I gotta start hitting the benchmarks and then just beating it by 1 rep a week. I got plenty of weeks to build up my strength. I don't have to do it all in 1 week. I just need forward progress. Here we go. All the way down, very important. Ah, 15 reps. Not bad. Not bad. 15, I'll take it. We'll go with the same weight for second set. Set number 2, so I stuck it out after all. Same weight. The goal will be 8 to 12. If I'm in the 8 to 12 range, I know that's a good weight for my second set, but I can still move up with my first. And that's how I'm going to establish the base marks. Let's go. All the way down, just like before. Whew, I'm still tired from that last set. 1. 2 more. Good. Not quite failure yet, but I'll work my way up to there, I have no doubt. All right, so that's been a pretty good leg day versus last week. Couple more things to do, then I'll come down for the pose down. Alrighty then, let's discuss. So, much better than last week, I'll say that. I didn't get a phone call from Bell, or I didn't get an email saying my bill was $50 more than it should have been. So I wasn't distracted this week. And I made it through. My numbers weren't spectacular, but I did go to failure on that on that top set of squats, which is really the most important set now. It used to be hack squats, but now hack squats are going to be supplementing the squatting. Back was a little sore, so this is what I did. I did 2 sets. It was a little sore, and then I started stretching my back right on the floor. I got down on my knee, got down on my back, and I brought each knee to my chest for about 2 minutes. And it made a difference. It reduced the pain by about 50%. Then I did the hack squats, which you saw. And the weight was light, but I'm trembling. I'm kind of weak after it, but that strength is going to grow week to week. So now that we kind of have a baseline, the baseline has to be based on more than just 1 week. I want to see a pattern. So it's not like I'm going to have a perfect baseline, but I'm much closer to a baseline now than I was. And again, the goal isn't to hit 3, 4, 5 plates. I don't care about that. My goal is to grow the legs. And I'm going to grow the legs 10 pounds a week. Maybe 5 on each side, you know? Like, it doesn't take much. And yeah, I could have probably done more reps if I went faster or didn't go as deep. But again, the goal isn't to just get through the reps. The goal is to break down the fibers, make the muscle fibers break down. At least that's what's going on in my head. And I did that today. And I gotta stay on that roll. I did a bunch of stretching, and the stretching will hopefully will help me with deal with the leg soreness. I want to recover as quickly as possible. Very important, because all that training I just did in the gym didn't technically grow. My legs didn't grow while I was in the gym. All I did was I gave my body the need to regenerate. Now when I go home, I'm going to eat the raw materials I need. I'm going to go home and sleep, and then while I'm sleeping, the body's going to slowly rebuild. That's why it's very important to eat and sleep when you're a bodybuilder, especially if you're trying to get maximum gains. I mean, you don't have to be as anal about it if you're a more casual lifter. You're happy with what you have, you want to keep it, yeah, you don't have to go through all these loops. But if you're always trying to be the best you can and compete in shows and be the best person you can, you must be dialed in on diet and sleep. My sleep is dialed in. My training is dialed in. Food, if I'm being honest, not so much. I still got to work on that a bit. And I kind of cheated a bit. My friend and I went to Timmy's last night, and the selection was terrible. So we went to Dairy Queen. So yeah, I probably could have done without that, you know. I had the munchies last night, big mistake. So I'm not going to make that mistake again, right? It's okay to make a mistake. But if you're making the same mistake over and over again and not learning from it, that makes you stupid, right? Everybody, it's okay not to know something, but if you can't learn from your mistake, then, I mean, that's what being dumb is. A dumb person cannot learn from their mistakes. I'm not trying to offend anybody. That's just logically, that makes sense to me. That's how I compute things. So I'm going to take that, and I like to meditate with that, you know, and I call it meditating, but it's really just thinking things over, planning things out, trying to see where I'm going to fail, you know. Telling myself I'm not going to fail, that's a lie, first of all, and it's untrue because I don't even know all the obstacles I have in front of me. So it's wrong to say that. What you say is, okay, shit's going to hit the fan at some point. What am I going to do when that happens? How am I going to behave? How am I going to react? And then every time it happens, I want to do better and better and better. Just the way, you know, you don't grow all your muscles one day in the gym. It takes years. That's how you deal with every issue. You get better and better and better over time, right? Progress occurs slowly over time. I always say that. And it's true. I completely agree with that. I think that's about it for this week. I'll be doing the check-in tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And you know what? The check-ins aren't going to make much of a difference from week to week or even day to day, for example. But I do them because it's better at, gives me practice doing the vacuum, holding the poses, fine-tuning things. And it's good when you look at them like every 4 weeks. Like if you go back 4 weeks, you know, then you'll start noticing a difference. And you'll be like, oh wow, he's losing his definition or he's gaining his definition. You'll see that a lot. So I like having it, and I can go back and check my progress. And it'll really be nice when I'm like 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks out from my next competition to see what I look like 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks out from the last competition. That's more of an apples to apples comparison versus just some random week, you know, which doesn't really tell me anything. I think I'll leave us off here. As always, please like, subscribe, share. Much appreciated. Love when you guys comment. If you have any questions, please ask me them. And usually I know the answer, but if I don't, that's good. I'll do a little research and I'll think about it and I'll give the best answer I can. And until next time, peace out.